All right, we're joined here by Scott Sandelin prior to UMD Miami. We'll open up the floor to questions right away.
Good, done, quick.
We'll go to Matt.
Scott, we spent this weekend talking a lot about the goals you guys scored, but defensively, how happy with your team were you and how they were able to shut down Western and limit their chances?
Well, I think anytime you you give up 2 goals on a weekend, you feel pretty good about what you've done defensively. We tried to be a little bit more aggressive down low, which was still a little bit of a work in progress, but I thought our guys did a good job, and our goalies made the saves when they had to. And the nice thing is we provided, our goalies with some goals. But no, overall, I thought defensively we did a good job against a team that's really strong on the wall, strong at the net. You saw they had some chances off the rush with guys like Frank, with their speed, especially 2 or 3 opportunities Friday. But for the most part, you're going to give up some of those with teams that play that way. But overall, it was a good step, and we're going to need to continue that, this weekend, because we're going to see a team that plays very similar.
Go to Sam.
Scott, with the changes that you made to the power play and it, paying off in a big way, was there anything that you saw over the weekend that could give you some kind of hope that it could be something that could be sustained, you could find that consistency moving forward?
Well, I think, yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously we got some opportunities. We scored some goals. Is it where we want it to be? No. But again, we made some changes. We feel we've got the right people, on there. We tried to balance both units out a little bit. And, again, like I've said, maybe it creates a little inner competition amongst those guys. But, again, anytime you can generate opportunities, maybe get a goal or 2, it certainly lifts the confidence level. But, this weekend we're going to see a team that kills differently too. So you still got to execute, and we still need to execute better and maybe move some pucks quicker and have more of an attack mentality. But hopefully that this past weekend gave our guys a little boost there, and we can put together some weekends here where we can develop some consistency and more opportunities and more goals.
Over to Chelsea.
Scott, last week we talked about kind of pressing the reset button. Do you feel like this pause and the break, you saw that it worked well for your team this last weekend?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, I said to you guys Wednesday, I thought that was our first day of practice last week, and our guys were good. They had a lot of energy and excited to get back on the ice. I think it carried through for the next few days, and it carried into the weekend. And, that's what we need to have, So again, it's tough being away from a game you like to play. And, thank God it wasn't a long time. It was just, we missed one weekend and we were able to get back at it. But, we want to continue that and kind of get into a rhythm and keep playing every weekend. And obviously last weekend we needed the wins to boost our confidence level, to get some points. And I thought for the most part we played two pretty good games against a team that's, was pretty hot. They were 3-0-1 and just swept St. Cloud. So we just got to develop that rhythm, and there really hasn't been that, right? I mean, it's, the pod was great, but, we come back and we haven't had a normal week of practice. We haven't had a Monday through Thursday yet. I think next week, knock on wood, we get back from Miami, it'll be our first normal week, so hopefully that starts a kind of a good rhythm for us, and, stays that way the rest of the year. But no, it was good. It was good for our guys, and I liked a lot of the things we did last weekend.
Go to Matt.
Scott, how have you seen your teams play as a whole defensively grow and develop from the start of the pod and such?
Well, I think we've become a little bit better, certainly as a group, playing better as a group of 5. Like I said, we worked hard on some things last week defensively, especially down low, that I thought our guys did a good job with. There's still going to be some holes until we do it a little bit more. But, I thought early in the year, we had a lot of turnovers, and maybe, again, when you haven't played for a long time, it takes a while to get back into it. But, for the most part, I think our structure has been really good. And, I think one area that I want to keep getting better at is just, our exits. Once we break up plays and making sure that we can get out of zones a little bit cleaner and have more options. And that comes with communication and puck support and things like that. But that's an area we're still harping on. But, again, it starts with goaltending. If you get good goaltending, it helps your mindset defensively. And I think we've worked better as a group, a group of five, and, our forwards are getting back and helping out a little bit more too. And, overall, it hasn't been bad all year. It's just, just little things. I think, sometimes you have new lines, new partners, all those things that take time to get some, to gel and get some chemistry. But overall, it's been pretty good. And I think that's probably been the one area of our game that from the beginning of the year that's probably been, for the most part, the most consistent, with the exception of a few little detail things.
Over to Bruce.
We talked on Sunday about the response after they had gotten within one, the natural hat trick by Jackson. You got off to a good start Saturday. You pop those two quick goals at the end of the period, changes the game. They get off to a good start Sunday. You pop those two quick goals, it changes the game. And again, they get within one, and you respond with a goal of your own. What do you think of the way your team responded when they scored, especially over the weekend?
Well, you have to, right? I think, that those shifts after a goal scored or a goal for are really important. It's just like you talked about the last minutes of the game. And I thought sometimes it's how you're playing too, Bruce. I mean, I think guys know too, if you're playing a good game and, they're confident and it doesn't rattle them. And sometimes if you're not playing a good game, it can get you rattled. But I think in both those situations, we were playing pretty well. And I think the guys felt that. So, I mean, when you have that feeling, you tend to go out there and do good things. So, you're right. I mean, the first 5 minutes they came out, which we knew, and I thought we got a lot of momentum off that penalty kill on Sunday. And, then the next 13 minutes, I thought we were, at our best, and that was really important for us. But we were playing pretty well. But you have to respond. And if that's a sign moving forward, that's a good sign for us.
Over to Sam.
Scott, all the attention was on Jackson Cates with that hat trick, but Kobe Bender, just being able to get involved with him. Was there something maybe in practice that you guys saw that you felt like there's some kind of a connection building with them?
Like I said last week, or on the weekend, I thought those guys had a really good week as a line. Obviously Kobe's been playing well. Him and Jesse and Tanner were good together, but Kobe's had a good year for us and playing with a lot of confidence. And we moved some guys around, and I thought all the lines did a good job, and that line really clicked. But they were really good in practice. And again, sometimes when you see that, kind of going into the weekend too, I felt if they could keep that going, we could win that matchup against who we could put them against. And that was certainly the case, I think, this weekend against Western. But nothing really. I think, we moved some people around, and we're just trying to get a little spark, and hopefully we found something with all the lines. But that line was certainly good for us, and we need it to continue because we need that balanced scoring and different guys, just like we got this past weekend.
Do we have any final questions here? All right. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Okay. See you guys.
Joined here by Matt Anderson prior to UMD's weekend series with Miami. We'll start off with questions right away. Go to Matt.
Matty, how have you seen this team's defensive play grow and develop? And was that weekend against Western, you think, one of your guys' best weekends of the year defensively?
I think that Coach we're kind of changing stuff up, like you said, down low and stuff, and I think it's kind of working for us. And we're obviously got to work on it, but I think as long as we do that, it can only get better. I think if it was our best, I think it probably our best so far, but I think we can definitely work on it more.
Over to Chelsea.
Did you feel refreshed after this little pause that you guys had? Seems like it, the end result.
Yeah, obviously not what we want. But I think that we definitely did kind of all come back kind of ready to go and itching to get back on the ice. And it obviously stunk to do it, but I think it kind of helped for sure.
Back to Matt.
Maddie, one of the things I remember talking to you guys a lot about in the pod was developing that chemistry between new goaltenders, new defensemen, and then, with the forwards. How have you seen that? Coach talks a lot about, defense isn't just, two guys, two defensemen and a goaltender. It's a 5-man unit. How is that chemistry developed between you and your fellow defensemen, goaltenders, and then the forwards as well?
For sure. I think that's something that just comes with the more you play later in the season. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, there's going to be less chemistry, and the more we practice, more we play, it obviously just comes with that, I think.
Back to Chelsea.
Obviously, back in the pod seems like a while ago, but this team had Miami figured out. But what do you remember about this Miami team that makes it difficult to play against?
They have a good goalie for sure. He's been playing well. They've kind of been leaning on him a little bit. When we played him in the pod, some of their top guys were hurt or out. So it'll be kind of nice to get them when they're all there, and it should be a good weekend. Well, next 4 games.
Over to Bruce.
Matt, Howie Hansen here. How important is it to run the table here? Is that the kind of the sense of the guys in the room?
Sure. I mean, obviously we're always looking to win. All we can control is how we play. So we just gotta work hard and just play as hard as we can. And the end result's the end result. But obviously we always like to win. So.
Over to Bruce.
Matt, you've gone from a goalie in Shep that wasn't really fond of playing the puck to a couple of guys in Fance and Zach that seemed more willing to play the puck. They seem better at it. What is that adjustment for you as a defenseman?
Yeah, Shep. he never really played it. So, I mean, it's definitely different. I like it more. I mean, it's nice to be able to talk to them and have them make plays. Makes the D's job easier for sure. But it's just one of those things where you just gotta make sure you're talking to them so they know what to do and stuff like that. But yeah.
Back to Matt.
Maddie, can you talk about the development of some of those young defensemen back there playing with you? How have you seen them grow?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that all of them have been just working their butts off in practice, and a lot of them, like Kelly got to score last week, and that was awesome. Pretty sweet goal. They're just getting more confident every day, which is great that they're bringing that to the table.
Over to Matt.
This is my last one for Maddie here. Were you robbed over the weekend of a goal there? You got to go through the celebration line and everything, and they took it away. Were you robbed?
I watched it over again, and this one thing you can never control is the refs. So I don't know if I was robbed. I mean, I watched it and I did get a piece of them. So I don't know. I don't know if I would say I was robbed, but definitely wish I could have got it.
Who was more disappointed about the goal getting taken away, you or Mom?
Probably Mom.
All right. Do we have any final questions here for Matt? All right. Thanks for your time, Matt.
Yeah. Thank you.
We're joined by Hunter Lellig prior to UMD's weekend series with Miami. We'll go straight to questions. Over to Matt.
Hunter, how have you seen the chemistry develop between you and the goaltenders and those forwards as well, dating back to the start of the pod?
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot better in the past couple weeks. I think for us, a big thing is communication. When we're talking, and like when you play with guys long enough, you can kind of like know where they're at, but the communication helps a ton. Talking with fans, Stay School, knowing where they're going to put pucks, where Maddie's going to put pucks. makes the game a lot easier. So.
Back to Matt.
How important is that communication with the forwards too? As coach talks a lot about, you know, team defense needs to be a 5-man and throw the goaltender in there with the way Ryan and Zach like to play the puck, a 6-man unit. How important is that communication with everyone on the ice?
It's very important. Sandy's been talking a lot the last week, especially about our exit plays. So hearing a forward say or talking in the defensive zone makes it our job easier, makes fans' job easier, and we're able to get out of the zone cleanly and not spend too much time, you know, trying to dig the puck out of our end.
Over to Sam.
Hunter, with how the St. Cloud series went, and then you guys bounced back against Western, how important is it going to be for you guys to find that consistency to kind of, take all the energy and all the positivity from this past weekend into not only this upcoming weekend, but for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's going to be very important. We also talked a lot about our week of practice kind of dictates how the weekend's going to go. And against Western, we had a great week of practice. Followed it up again these last 2 days. It's been kind of weird with another great couple days. So I think if we're dialed in practice, it's going to translate in games, and then we can keep our foot on the gas here. So.
Back to Matt.
Hunter, big offensive weekend for the team, but a big defensive weekend as well. Do you feel the way the team was playing defensively and shutting down Western, and you guys talking about being able to dig that puck and getting out of your zone, was that key to the big offensive weekend that you guys had, the way you were playing team defense?
Yeah, I think it was part of it. Our forwards this weekend were great, but I think too in the defensive zone we're closing faster, eliminating plays, like squashing stuff early, which we talked about and wanted to do a better job of from the previous weekend at St. Cloud. So yeah, I mean, when like Maddie said too, we can always work on stuff, right? It's a work in progress. We're never going to, like, hopefully we're starting to turn the corner to getting there, but we're working on it, and I think it went well.
Go to Chelsea.
Anything in particular you remember about playing this Miami team in the pod and what they did well?
Yeah, from a killing standpoint, I thought they had a really good power play. They shot the puck a lot, and we're going to have to eat pucks this weekend and block shots. It's going to be difficult, and like Maddie said, they've got guys back. They're going to be a different team than they were in the pod. Everybody's getting better. We're getting better. They're getting better. So it'll be a tough series and should be good.
Over to Howie. Howie? Go to Sam then.
Hunter, how important is it to get Cole going here?
Kepke?
Yeah.
It's important. I thought he's been having good weeks of practice. He's been doing fine, I think. I don't think it's translating in the game per se as much. Like, he's not getting the points or not scoring on all the breakaways he has. But I think, like, defensively and, like, structural wise, he's playing great. And I think once he pops maybe a couple, we're going to see the old Keps, and it'll be great. So.
Over to Sam.
Hunter, the last two series, having a couple of guys scoring their first goals, how important is that for the team itself? Everyone's happy for those guys to get on the board, but to have more guys step up to show off that depth that you guys have, how important is that going forward?
Well, it's going to be huge. You can't. Our first two-line guys aren't going to score all the time, and it's nice to see a D get on the board. It's nice to see Alma get on the board. So having that depth and that confidence, like, scoring brings confidence too. So having that confidence through all four lines, all 8D, whatever the case may be, it's going to help in the long run, and we'll be better for it later in the season.
All right. Do we have any final questions here for Hunter? All right. Thank you for your time, Hunter.
Thank you.